Okay, let's talk now about a specific technique for ideation, and it's likely the most commonly known or understood as brainstorming. Well, brainstorming has variation of approaches to it, but generally there are some fundamental elements in brainstorming that if you carry these out, then you'll be more effective in doing so. Now, to start with is framing of the idea, framing of the area in which you want to ideate. That is, if you're ideating, you're brainstorming alone, then you're providing the scope for the area that you're going to look at it. But it's even more important when you have a group of individuals who are going to work together ideating or brainstorming an idea. So you need to provide some boundaries, some scope for the area in which they're going to delve into a problem, a need, or want, an area that they're trying to envision some level of new value creation for the entrepreneurial brainstormer. So in that way, you're framing the problem. Now, there needs to be some level of facilitation. While every individual can brainstorm or ideate on their own, bringing these individuals together to collectively grab the value or the thought process of all of them together to create a better understanding or forward progress together in exploring an idea or concept. So you somehow facilitate these individuals in bringing forward, in the entrepreneurial context, you're helping them put forward their ideas about how you can somehow address, fulfill, alleviate the hurt, need, want, or somehow create or take advantage, create and then take advantage of an opportunity out there. So you're trying to bring these ideas together. Now, oftentimes that requires a single individual to be in some way the coordinator from these between these individuals who are collectively brainstorming. So that you can help all the members together move forward and bring out their ideas. Now, that could be writing down the ideas, it could be sequencing the ideas, it could be putting up some decision tree or something like that, so it provides some guidance or focus so people are collectively putting their cognitive forces into a single area, so you're able to dig further down that path or that route to expose thoughts or ideas that can somehow influence another person to, again, add to that level of thought or idea. So again, the facilitator is key and is instrumental to the brainstorming process. And then you have to have some evaluation criteria of what you're coming up with. Should we continue to go down this route versus this route? It's not that you're bashing some idea or saying that don't bring up this level of idea. It's just where you believe the value proposition is, where you believe is, just like mining, you can dig a bunch of mines, but there could be one that is more fruitful, more likely to produce a vein of valuable minerals, right? So you have to have some way of ranking the results of the brainstorming so that the individuals together can collectively continue to narrow in their thought process and then again scatter out from that to determine which is the best or way to continue going with that idea so that you can create the greatest level of value. Now, there are just a few rules that should always be in place for effective brainstorming. You got to generate a lot of ideas. You got to make the people who are participating want to throw out their ideas. There should be no judgment. So don't evaluate or don't remark or don't criticize in any way anyone's idea. Every idea is valid because that idea doesn't have to identify a new concept or new value proposition in itself. It needs to have the function of helping the others, facilitating the others, and expanding their thought in that area. And if the facilitator has scoped it correctly, it will help bring about new ideas from the other individuals that will help take the group collectively further into an idea so that you can expand upon it further. So avoid criticism, avoid critique. Every idea is a valid idea. Get them all out there. Try to seek as much diversity as possible. A diversity of knowledge, a diversity of type of individual there. All of this plays a role. We are all individuals that are largely influenced by our environment, by our surroundings, by the people we've been around. So in that way, we're influenced by our culture, by our beliefs, by our family members, by our location where we grew up, by the overall culture or view towards the values, ethics, etc., that characterize us as individuals. Well, these help us approach a problem idea in a different way and can help us come to different conclusions about certain things and can lead you down different roads when you're trying to ideate on something, and then ultimately combine those ideas. If you effectively go down enough routes when you're looking for excuse me, new or novel or innovative ways to address particular needs, wants, or hurts, you're going to need to combine the ideas of others to address that. Again, so ultimately, effectively, if you abide by these rules, if you effectively scope, facilitate, and then evaluate the ideas, you'll drill further down into things, you'll produce more ideas, you'll produce higher quality ideas. It will help every individual maximize their mental or cognitive ability in trying to identify a value proposition.